Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video, we are going to discuss about hot flows. Now, you might be wondering that we already have cold flow. So, what is the need of hot flow and what extra benefit hot flow brings which cold flow doesn't have? So now we will see how hot flow came into the picture, and for demonstration purpose I have taken the previous example which we have seen already in our last video. So I will do a quick code cleanup. I will remove the unwanted line which is not required. So it looks good now, and I will change this to 123. Let's run the program to see it is in working state, and then we will see the problem with cold flow, and then we will see how we can fix those problem using a hot flow. So before it starts, so on start block is getting called, and then 123, all this three number is getting emitted, and then it is completed successfully. Inside main activity, we are collecting the flow. Okay. Now consider case we want to collect two flows. Okay, so to collect two flow, I will copy paste this line. And there is one rule that we cannot collect both the flow inside the same coroutine scope. So all flow collection should happen in their own coroutine scope. So what I will do, I will create one launch function. This will give a coroutine scope, and I will move this line of code inside that launch function. Similarly, I will do it for the second. Now let's change this log message so that we can differentiate the emission of both the collectors. So I will add collected value 1 and collected value 2. Furthermore, inside our test view model, for simplicity purpose, I'm removing this lifecycle operator, and also I am adding one log inside the flow builder to see the value emission. Okay, let's run the code to see the behavior. So I can see while emitting value 1, flow builder is getting executed twice. Okay, you can see inside flow builder 1 and again in line number third inside flow builder 1. Again, while emitting value 2, flow builder is getting called twice. To give it more clear picture, let's write here flow builder. So you can see here that flow builder is getting called twice while emitting value 1, getting called twice while emitting value 2, and so on. So what is the conclusion? So the conclusion is multiple collectors create a multiple flows, which means that this cold flow emit individual emission to every collector. Okay, so for example, here we have two collectors, so they will get individual emission for both the collectors. So as a consequences, emission are not shared between all collectors. Is not it? It's an expensive process because when we will do a API call, it will hit the server twice to bring the same result. So to deal with that, hot flow come as a rescue. We can change this cold flow directly to a hot flow using a shareIn operator, and we can pass a scope, which is view model scope, and then we have to pass the policy. So in the policy I am passing sharing started dot while subscribed. Inside the main activity, I can see there are two collectors which are collecting that flow. Let's run the code to see the behavior. So I can see after every emission, the flow builder is getting called only once. So what does that mean? That means that emission are shared between all the collectors. So we are, in our case, we are having this two collectors and the emission is shared between both of them. Okay. So in the log, you can see inside flow builder 1, collected value 1 and collected value 2. So both this collector is getting the value 1 and flow builder is getting called only once. Similarly, for value 2, flow builder is getting called only once and collected value 1 and collected value 2 is getting the same value. So to conclude, instead of having each collector create a new flow, you can share the data between collector. And to achieve that, we can convert this cold flow directly to a hot flow using a shareIn operator. So inside shareIn operator, we can see there are three parameters. So first one is scope, and then second one is started, and the last one is replay count. So we will see what does that mean. So in the parameter, we have passed view model scope, and this flow will remain active as long as this view model scope is alive and there are active collectors. So in the second parameter, we are passing the policy. So there are three types of policies. Okay, so in the documentation we can see eagerly, lazingly, and while subscribed. These are the three different kind of policy which we can pass. So while subscribe keeps the upstream producer active while there are active subscriber, and we can use sharing started dot eagerly when we want to start the producer immediately, and we can use lazingly when we want to start sharing after the first subscriber appear and keep the flow active forever. So the third parameter is a replay, and inside replay we can pass a replay count, and this parameter let you resend a number of previously emitted value for new subscriber. So for more information about shareIn, you can refer the documentation. Now we will see the second problem which is still there in this code. So to demonstrate that, first I will change the count from 1 to 30, and I will go to the main activity, and inside main activity I will create one text which, so whatever value is getting emitted that will get reflected on the UI. Let's run the code to see the behavior, and we will see what is the problem. So you can see a value is getting emitted value is 3, 4, and so on. When I rotate the screen, the value is getting reset to 1. Ideally it should intact the value. So again, when I'm rotating the screen, the value is reset to 1. Ideally it should intact the previous value, and from there it should increase the counter. So that is the second problem which we have to fix. So the solution is quite simple. First we have to go inside the test view model, and inside while subscribed we can pass 5 second, which is the recommended one, inside stop timeout millis. Okay, so after passing this 5 second, probably this issue will get fixed. Let's run the code to check the behavior. So now you can see the value is getting emitted every 2 second. Okay, now when I rotate the device, you can see state is intact. Again, if I change it from landscape mode to portrait mode, the state is still intact. So with that, problem is resolved. But what is happening when we do any kind of configuration change? Say when we change the device from landscape to portrait mode, or if we are changing the device from light mode to dark mode, in such cases flow get restarted. So in our first case, when value was getting reset, during that time when we were doing configuration change, it was calling the flow, it was restarting the flow, due to which value was getting reset. Okay, now in our second case, when we started passing 5 second inside while subscribe as a parameter, then what is happening, it is saying that we will keep this flow alive for 5 second while there will be any configuration change. Now to conclude, as we are passing 5 second, our flow will survive the configuration change and it will keep the state intact for a 5 second. And if we are doing any kind of configuration change, and if it will take more than 5 second, then it will restart the flow. Now I believe you are having pretty good understanding of sharein operator. Now there is one more method through which we can change cold flow to hot. I believe you may have guessed it already. Yes, it's a stateIn operator. So let's change this shareIn operator to stateIn. And inside stateIn, the replay count is by default 1. So we will remove this line of code. And stateIn operator always expect an initial value. So we will pass that initial value. Let's run this code to see the behavior. So you can see values getting emitted. When I rotate the screen, the state is intact. Again, when I do the configuration change, state is intact. Also, state in operator is more efficient and concise as compared to shared in operator. In this video, we have learned how to convert the cold flow to hot flow using state in and share in operator. And also we saw the how we can fix the configuration change problem using dot state in and share in operator. Along with that, there was one problem with the cold flow where we saw that when we collect the cold flow, and when we have multiple collection of cold flow, then each flow get individual emission, which was not very reliable and efficient. So to overcome that, hot flow came into the picture, and after using hot flow, emission are shared between all the collectors. And the last but not the least was dot state in return state flow. However, dot share in has shared flow return type. So we will see state flow and shared flow in our future videos, and also we will see the difference between them. Till the time, stay tuned on my channel, and thank you so much for watching, and please do not forget to like and subscribe my video. Thank you so much.